I just realised I forgot to check the time, but I'm thinking that it must be about 5 o'clock. So we'll start because I'm here. Okay, so yesterday I went through a whole load of free resources for you about how you can start to look at the things in your life that you want to change. And people say to me, well, where do I start? So, and I went through yesterday a whole heap of free resources, not necessarily mine, although I've got loads, books, audios, videos, all those kind of things. So those are resources. But the other thing that you can do when people say, I want to change, I want to alter this, I know that I'm doing this and I want to stop, or I don't like this about myself, or I know I'm sabotaging my relationship, or, oh, hi, Summer Rose. Hey, I hope that yesterday's was really useful for you. Those resources, but you'll really like this one. So I'll bear you in mind as I'm talking through this, because I know that you'll like some of this. Okay, so today what I'm going to do, so yesterday was all about the free resources, because not everyone has the money to pay a coach, a mentor, a therapist. Although, of course, if you do, they are going to accelerate your results for you because they get focused. They see things on the outside. They don't have the emotional involvement. There's that saying, you know, where when you're involved, you can't see the wood for the trees. And obviously your therapist is outside of all that and they can see things that you can't see. But so what I did, I came up with, I'm probably going to do another 3 tomorrow, but today I've got 3 really, really good exercises that you can do. And I know these are the ones that I did in the beginning when I was beginning my kind of personal development journey of changing myself and my life and everything about myself, really. These are some of the exercises that I put into place. So I've got 3 for you today, and I'm hoping that you'll find them really simple, really easy to do, but most importantly, very beneficial, because that's what I want everything to be for you. So the first one that I came up with, now this is really, this is based on the post that I did yesterday and that I then focused my live on, which was all about you don't have relationship problems, you have childhood problems that are showing up as relationship problems. And the reason I chose that one is because so many of the people that I work with, they have issues in their business, but they have relationship issues too. And obviously that spills into business because that's relationships with everyone. But relationship issues are a huge part of what I see, because obviously people who have any kind of trauma or abuse in their background, they're taught to think about themselves in a particular way. Which leads me on to the first exercise, because the one thing that they are not taught to do, and yeah, please grab pen and paper and write these down. You'll have the video to go back over, but please make a note of this. The thing they are not taught to do in their childhood, so they do not do in their adult relationships, and it causes them so many problems, they do not set their own values and boundaries. This is absolutely essential. And when you do this exercise, it will show you so much about where you are now and why certain things are happening to you, as opposed to where you want to be, the person you want to be, and the things that you do want to happen to you. So this exercise is really, really simple. Just take a piece of A4 paper. Okay, and just divide it in half, and one side is values and one side is boundaries. Okay, and what you're going to do at the top, bear in mind here, there's a saying, you set your own value. Okay, and I put great store in this. You set your own value, other people don't. Okay, so you tell people what you are worth, what you expect, what your value is, how you see yourself, and that tells them how they should treat you. So at the top of your A4 piece of paper, I want you to write, where it says my value, you put priceless. Priceless. Because you are completely unique. There is only one of you. And when you are the person that you really, really want to be, anyone, the right person, is going to agree that you are priceless because of the way you show up and what you add to their lives. But the most important thing is for you to start to understand that you are priceless and you see yourself in that way. So you write priceless at the top and you set your values and boundaries accordingly. Okay, and now the way you do this, you think about, so the values and boundaries that you set are based on, these are obviously the main questions that I get asked when people say, why do people speak to me like they do? Why are people always shouting at me? Why do people swear at me? Why do people interrupt me, put me down? Why do people mistreat me? Why don't they call when they say they will, turn up? And all of these things are based on the way that other people treat you is based on the way you tell them they can. You let them know what they can and can't do and what is and is not acceptable. Okay, so the way you do your values and boundaries is around exactly what you want to get from the people in your life. Now, here's the thing. This is not just about what you want to get from the people in your life. It's about the kind of person that you want to be. Okay, so what are you giving back? Who are you? What are you giving? What you get should be a reflection of what you want to give. All right. Thanks, guys. I love all the emojis and the comments and things. It tells me that I'm on the right track and that you're enjoying this. So it's no good kind of putting down really high value and really strict boundaries, which is what you should do. You should do for yourself. Remember that word priceless at the top. It's no good doing that if you are then going to treat someone else in the opposite way. That doesn't work. Your values and boundaries are a reflection of you, what you are going to give, and therefore what you are going to get. It is a two-way street. Okay, so when you write down, it's like if you're writing down the kind of person that you want to have a relationship with, the kind of friends you want, the kind of business people you want to associate with, the kind of employees you want. You don't write down loads of good stuff about them, but not worry about yourself. Because the key is you write down what you want and then you say, so that person who is going to turn up in that way, that person who is going to treat me with respect, who's going to be on time, who's going to be a really positive influence and support in my life. You look at all of that for sure, but then surrounding that, what you say is, now what does that person want? What do they want from me? Okay, so this is a two-way thing. It's what do I want to be and what do I want to receive? So when you do your values and boundaries, you can ask yourself certain questions. How do I want people to speak to me? I want them to speak to me with respect. I want them to not swear at me. I want them to stay calm. I want them to be able to communicate properly. You know, all these kind of things that you are going to break down for yourself and make sure that what you are asking for, you are also prepared and wanting to give. So, and you can do this, your values should be around absolutely everything. How do I want people to speak to me? How do I want them to behave? What kind of ethics and characteristics should they have? But in your values, you want things like, you need the people that you share your life with, that you come into contact with, to know things like, maybe yourself, you are completely open and non-judgmental about people. So things that you really don't accept are people who are intolerant of other religions or races, or if you're someone, it can be down to if you're someone who likes to travel and go abroad for your holidays, and you're thinking this could be a really great relationship with someone, but they don't like to travel, they want to go walking at home when they're on holiday. well, you need to factor in those things. I can see that it's not exactly a value, but it's a shared interest. How is this going to work? I think one of the things that obviously there are some values and boundaries that are pretty universal, but not for everyone. And it's really important for you to understand how important some of these are to you. If you're someone who values honesty, then you need to make sure that anyone that you start a relationship knows that honesty is one of your values, and that your boundary around that is that you don't lie to me. You are honest with me. You are open with me. So that's the value and that's the boundaries that go with it. And do this for yourself. And when you've done it, have a look and see how many of those milestones are not being met in your life at the moment. And that will tell you why you are not being treated as you want to be treated, and why you don't have the kind of people in your life that you really want to. And it's not your fault. It is partly because you haven't done this values and boundaries exercise before. So you've kind of just accepted anyone that came along. This is something I hear a lot, where people say that they've tried to instill kind of say what their values are, and people just tell them, oh, that's just stupid, that's ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. It's yours. It's yours. And anyone who tells you that your values and boundaries are stupid and ridiculous isn't the right person for you. It's as simple as that. You don't need to be with that person. That's fine. You are able to say, okay, that's fine. If you think that's stupid and ridiculous, that's your opinion, and I respect that. But those are my values and boundaries. That's what I expect, and that's what I need. That's fair enough. No one else can tell you. No one else can tell you that your values and boundaries are stupid. Well, they can tell you, but you can just say, fine, okay, they're mine, they're not yours. And the same, you shouldn't do the same for someone else. You can always say, well, I can't do that. I can't meet your values. I'm sorry, I just can't do that. That's fine. Well, then you know that you're just not right for each other. No problem at all. We don't have to come at relationships from the perspective of scarcity. We don't have to compromise on everything that's important to ourselves and everything that we are just to be with a certain person. That if we need to change ourselves and compromise in that way, then that's probably not the right person. No one should ask you to change for them. You should only change for you. Okay, sure, we all do a bit of compromising and adapting, but as long as you keep the essence of yourself. If one of your values is is loyalty, clearly you're not going to be in a relationship with someone who keeps cheating on you. And if that person insists that to be in a relationship with them, you accept that cheating, well, you don't have to, clearly, And if you do, then you're losing the essence of yourself. That you're never going to be happy, because it just grates against who you really are. Okay, so that's an exercise you can do, values and boundaries. Oh, yes, and the next one is to get very clear on your goals. Now, I know there's all sorts of views out there about goals, but personally, I do find them really helpful and really useful. And I think if you're changing your life, then it is really good to have these written down. Otherwise, if you don't write things down, they're just an idea. Okay, so something that's in your head is just an idea, but once it's written down, it's got some substance, and once you take action, it becomes a real goal. Now, the thing with goals is people expect too much of themselves. Thank you. So what you don't want to do, I know there's all this out there about, you do your goals for life. Sure, if you know what they are. But 3 years ago, I had absolutely no idea that I would be doing trauma and abuse therapy in this way. I had no idea. It wasn't on my radar at all. It came from business coaching. It found me rather than the other way around. So that wasn't on my radar. All I have very basically was to grow my business. That was it. So have some idea, yes, but when you are talking about, most of you're coming from a place of overcoming trauma. Some of you are still dealing with complex post-traumatic stress. Some of you have very recent traumas. You've got all sorts of phobias, fears, anxieties, and things going on. And the prospect of trying to make a goal for 10 years, that's just terrifying. So, and this is where goals fall down. So do them in a way that suits you. Now, it doesn't matter if you make your goal, let's say, so we're coming into 2020. So I've got a big thing at the moment about encouraging people to make next year, because of your contact with me, everything I can teach you and do with you, make next year your year of transformation. That's what I've been kind of putting out. How are you going to change next year? What's going to happen? So let's say you make your goal for next year. That's all you need to do. Go further if you can, but don't worry if you can't. You might make your initial goals for the first 3 months of next year, and say, what I want to do in the first 3 months of next year is get over my complex post-traumatic stress. The way I want to be different is I want to be free of my anxiety. I want to be free of my fear. I want to be feeling much more confident. Things like that. They don't have to be massive goals. You know what's important to you. I've got my goals. They're important to me. My goals are different to yours. I actually have my goals for next year laid out. Mostly they're my business goals, and my personal ones are kind of tied into it, so it all follows. But I've got them written down, so I know what next year is about for myself. So write them down. Now, and here's what you want your goals to be. You want to have an overall goal, but it has to have small steps. Because otherwise what happens, sometimes the gap between where you are and where you want to get to can just look too big. But if you've got your first step, it's like any of you who do hypnosis with me, we go down the 10 steps. And there's a reason we don't just suddenly write drop. Well, some of you do that. I know you do from your experiences. But we don't do that. We gradually drop into hypnosis. Okay, and this is what I want you to do with your goals. Be compassionate on yourself. Yes, set goals that are outside your comfort zone. I don't want you to set yourself a goal that you know you can easily do, that isn't going to challenge you, that isn't going to grow or change you. That's pretty pointless. Yeah, absolutely no point. But what you want is steps, and these steps need to be clear and they need to be measurable. And the reason you want them to be this is because when you've got your goal laid out like this, what you can then do, you can make sure that everything you're doing in your life is taking you towards your goals. So when you are faced with a decision or an option, you can look at it and say, well, so does this choice take me more towards my goals or not? And then you can weigh things up, okay? And also with the small steps, you can see that you're achieving things. I know people who work with me when we're dealing with anxiety, complex post-traumatic stress, it's very layered. You all know, guys, it's not just a one fix. It's not, oh, it's done, that's it. There's a lot going on, a lot of things we have to uncover and deal with. But isn't it great when we do a session and in that session, you know that we dealt with this. And after the session, you feel so much better about X. So then when we go to do our next session, that's the step that we did. And we can measure it and we can see it. And you feel great because you can feel the difference. And you can look back and say, yes, we achieved that. Yes, we've done that. Yes, I used to feel this, but that has gone now. And that's just the example I'm using of the work I do with you guys. But, you can apply that to everything. So have steps. Make sure they're measurable so that you feel like you're achieving something. Don't make them too long. I'm not saying don't make them too big. Some of you will have huge goals for next year. My goals for next year are terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, to to be honest, but there we are. I've been doing this quite a while, and I'm well able to face a terrifying goal. Although this morning I was feeling a bit anxious about some stuff that I'm doing, and I just kept telling myself, oh, I'm not anxious, I'm just excited. But that's okay, that's me. I've been doing this. I know how to do this. You know, I can probably more capable of doing that than some of you. You're not in that place yet. So set your goals that work for you. Okay, where you'll achieve something, you'll feel good, and you can give yourself steps and you can measure and see progress. So that's two big things. So that's the values and boundaries, and then the goals. Now, related to this, so these kind of three exercises, they go together, and they go together in a really great way. I've got a booklet about this that I will upload shortly. I don't have access to it at the moment because I'm not very technical and my husband's not here, and I'm not sure where it's stored, but I've got an online booklet, but you can do this exercise for yourself, and it's called Design Your Ideal Life. And this is absolutely fantastic for those of you who are looking at getting rid of certain things in your life that don't serve you, whether they are traits or behaviors or whatever. Now, with your ideal life, what you do, you look at key questions. I'm trying to think what's in mine because I drew it up quite a long time ago. But you're going to look at the main areas of your life, like where you live, what you do for work, the people who are in your life, their attitudes. It's certainly going to include values and boundaries. It's going to include your income, your hobbies, your travel, all of that kind of thing. And what you're going to do, you look at it and you think about, in my ideal life, what would I like? Okay, and it's like a version of a vision board, but it's written. It's not pictures. You write this down. You think about all of this. So in my ideal life, where I would like to live is, and the reason is, and the reason I don't have this at the moment is, and you get clear on all of these things. So it would be down to right, okay, so then we would take a hobby. So in my ideal life, a hobby I would like to have is, and the reason I don't do this at the moment is, and the way I can make this happen is. Do you see how it gets clear? And it really starts to show you the gap between what you say you want in your life and what you currently have. And there is no blame, no judgment. This is not like that at all, because so many of you are in situations where you're dealing with past abuse, some terrible situations. But this is just showing you that absolutely everything is possible. And how you think about something will seriously affect the action that you take. So if you can see written down, the kind of people I would like in my life are, so the kind of partner I would like, let's say, or the friends or whatever, are the kind of partner I would like is, the partner I have at the moment is, or the partner I've just left, or the partner I'm trying to leave, or whatever it is for you. Write down what you want. Write down what you want ideally. This is all about you. You only have one life. Okay, and so it's about you. It's about you doing what's right for you. So what I would like in my life is, the reason I don't have it is, it could be the reason I don't have it is because I didn't set proper values and boundaries, and I didn't have a goal, and I just stumbled into something. Well, we've all been there. You know, you by no means alone if that's what you've done. But everything is fixable. Everything. There is nothing that has been done that cannot be undone. Okay, so everything is fixable. So guys, please take notice of these exercises. They'll really help you, along with all the free resources that I reminded you about yesterday. All of those will help you to do these things. These are quite big exercises. You're not going to sit down and do them all tonight and then go, whoopee, they're done. They need thought, they need input, they need your time, but they are extremely worthwhile to help you kind of see and to analyze and to really be able to get some clarity around what it is that you need to change. Why is this happening? Why are you like this? Why are you in this situation? What do you really, really want, and what needs to happen to change it? And that's really all this is about, focusing on next year. How is this going to change for you? And this is about you. Notice I said for you. This is your unique, your individual desires, needs, and journey. Okay, great. All right, well, I'm going to leave that with you. I'd love to hear how you get on, how you find these. Any questions though, any questions at all, just leave them for me. That's fine. And if you need help, I'll help you. If if you're not sure how to do this, I love it when I post things that really, really affect people and they come back and they say, oh, I got a massive aha moment, or I really realized something. So let me know how this goes for you. And what else you need help with, and I will cover three more exercises tomorrow to help you to really focus on this, because my goal for all of you is to make 2020 your best year ever. And we can do it together, but I can't do it for you. I can kind of show you the way. I can be here, I can help you, I can support you, but you have got to decide. You have got to take responsibility, and then I can help you in any way that I can. Okay? Thank you so much. I love it when you turn up and watch, and I'm really glad I can be here for you. Thanks, guys. Speak soon. Bye.